Now, a lot of women, when they get married, seem to ditch their single female friends. Let's talk about why that happens.
Because do you notice that women that get married end up looking down on single women like they're disgusting, forgetting that they were once single as well?
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amaomi, aka Petite Diva, and in this video we are discussing married women ditching their single female friends when they get married. Now this video is inspired by a post that I saw on Thread. Now this woman was talking about the fact that she has some female friends who were getting divorced, who are divorced now, and they were trying to get back into their friendship. Apparently, when they got married, when they started having kids, they ditched her because she was single at that time. And now that they are getting divorced, they are trying to get back into the friendship that they have, and she is not having it. So in this video, we are discussing why it seems like women, when they get married, seem to ditch their single female friends, and why it doesn't seem like it happens with men who get married. So we'll check out what people have to say about this whole topic, and then I'll come back to share my thoughts. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe, and don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now let's get into this video.
You know what's a concept that I find really weird? I've always found weird. And now that I'm married, I find it even more weird when people get married and stop hanging out with their single friends. Like, I don't understand that. I have seen people do that. I've seen people say like, oh, hang out with my single friends now I'm married. It just feels depressing. It feels sad because they're so lonely. And like I've heard single people being like, yeah, my married friends just dipped out on me. And I'm just sitting here like, but why? Because last night I was hanging out with two of my best friends, and in my inner circle, I think two close friends of mine are married, one's in a relationship, but everyone else is single. And as I'm hanging out with them, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I can't imagine not fucking with these people. Like, I can't imagine not being these people's friends just because my relationship status changed. Like, that is such weird behavior. And it will never make sense to me. Like, I get if a single friend is toxic or a married. I mean, I guess married people have to be toxic if they're dumping their single friends. But like, I'm listening to my friends talk about their relationship stuff, and nothing in it about them being single sounds sad. Like, coming from a married person, I'm not like, oh, I pity them. Fuck no. Before I met my partner, I was them. So, like, I don't know. That shit don't make no sense to me. It's weird.
Has anyone else recently gotten married and realized that all their friendships are changing? All their female friendships?
Because do you notice that women that get married end up looking down on single women like they're disgusting, forgetting that they were once single as well? It's almost like they put themselves on this high pedestal where it's like, my husband, my husband, my husband. I can't be friends with single women. Forgetting that the husband is not going to cut off his single friends at all. He's still going to be hanging out, having a good time. This is why a lot of married women end up depressed, because they lose themselves. They consume the marriage so much and forget their own identity. Never lose your identity when you're getting married. To stay happy, keep your identity, keep your friends. You can't do everything that your single friends do.
Yes.
Correct. But have fun. Life is not meant to be that deep, because at the end of the day gonna end.
Absolutely. The other big thing that happens around weddings and friendships with our female friends is that we often are, as the bride, investing so much time in our relationship. And it probably started when you were just getting together. Maybe your relationship was new and you went from investing a ton into your like friend relationships, your girlfriends, into like this new person you were dating who then became your fiance, and here you are, and you have maybe neglected your friendships. This is super common. And again, just one of those things we got to keep tabs on. It's very normal when you are in this very like long-term oriented dating relationship to really hyper focus on it. And this tends to happen a lot, but also like it's going to have implications for your friendships, and you're going to be the one as the bride who's going to need to like reinvest and nurture and give back a little if you've maybe been a little MIA yourself. So it's absolutely a two-way street. Again, just adding more complexity to why friendships are sometimes really just in a tough place around weddings. So goes both ways. And a lot of it is a very great reason why maybe your friends are feeling a little like, when all of a sudden you expect them to show up and be there for you when you have just been not super in the mix and in tune and communication. So it's such a good reminder.
Do you know what needs to be studied? How people talk to single women. And like, I'm somewhat newly single, right? I haven't been in a long-term relationship, so I kind of forgot what it's like. But I've had some reminders recently that I'm going to share with you, right? So people I work with, right, it'd come up that I went on a date, right? And then a couple of weeks later, it came up again, and then they were reminded, something in the conversation reminded them that I'd been on this date. So then people asked me about it, and then one of my colleagues, married woman, she goes to me, "Oh, have you heard from him since?" But like in a very like condescending, patronizing, very concerned way, as if she was expecting the answer to be no, basically. And I was like, yeah, of course I've heard from him since. The date was some time ago now. And then she was like, oh, okay, good. And I'm a bit like, why would I not have heard from him? And then later on, I think there was some more discussion in it. I kind of made them aware that I'm not just dating one person, that I've been on a few dates with a few different people. Then I kind of alluded to the fact that maybe there was one person that had my attention a little bit more than the others. And then she was like, oh yeah, you need to be really mean to him. You need to be mean. And I was like, why do I need to be mean?
Are you 5?
To anyone that I'm dating? And she was like, oh, well, you know what they say, treat them mean, keep them keen. And I was like, first of all, who asked you? Did I ask you for dating advice? Like, nobody wants to breastfeed your mom's beach cobbler, bitch. Like, okay, because you're married, you automatically start giving me unsolicited dating advice. No thanks. And then second of all, like, why would I need to be mean to someone in order to keep them keen and interested in me? I mean, like, you can see me. We've had a few conversations. You can see that I'm a vibe. Like, why do you instantly assume that I need to have some sort of like tactic to date or whatever? And then another thing that people do, which is very weird, is like they assume that your whole life is geared around finding a man or like trying to attract someone. So like I was on a girls trip a few months ago, and then we were talking about cosmetic surgery, and I said I was still toying with the idea of like getting a BBL or something like that, right? And then my friend was like, no, don't do it. Men don't find that attractive, you know. And yes, she was married. And I'm still here 7 months later trying to figure out why what men find attractive is relevant in a conversation about what I want to do with my body.
Why do friendships drift apart after marriage? This is something I've seen, and I feel like it's very important to establish something within your friend group prior to you guys getting married. Like, hey, inshallah, once we're all married, once a week or once a month, we go to a basketball game or get together for dinner. Because obviously once you're married, you have to be there with your wife all the time. You have to be with your kids. Make sure you're raising your kids correctly and you're helping your wife all the time. And with all these tasks, it is very easy for you not to see your friends for 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. Granted, if one of your friends is out the state, that's very hard. But let's say you guys all live in the same area. Something I've talked about with one of my buddies was like, we all just get season pass tickets for the Bulls. That way we will always have something to do together.
Oh, Lungelo. No matter what shenanigans I heard about, I was just like, no, if my friend said, oh, I saw your person with so-and-so, Izolo, that person will have my life. Because why you
Yeah. Minang nomuzi. I've got a house. It's ring fenced.
Exactly.
And you are the pest that's trying to
Exactly.
destroy.
So I lost a lot of friends along the way. People who were actually just trying to protect me or make me see the reality. And I was like, I don't care about your reality. My reality is he my husband. Mind your own.
Husband who's not your husband. Hey, Kenzega, hashtag.
So I saw a tweet the other day where this lady was basically talking about how ever since she got married, she doesn't really hang out with her unmarried friends anymore because she feels like she has nothing in common with them. And I just want to say, when people talk like this, or when women say stuff like this, like that they don't have friends anymore because they're in a relationship with a man or they got married to a man, I really want to say that you're a pick me.
Yeah, that's
Like,
pick
there's no
me
excuse
attitude.
for that. For you to say something like that, it means that you feel like you're superior to these women because you found a man or you married a man, which is really nasty, irky behavior. Because your friends are your support. And even if someone is not married like you are or is not in a relationship like you are and they're single, that doesn't mean you can't hang out with them. You can't go do stuff with them, have a good time, build a relationship with them. Because when things go south or
You'll be
when
looking
things
for
go
them.
bad, those are the people that are going to be there for
You never hear a man getting rid of his friends because he's gotten married. You will never hear or come across a man who will get rid of his friendship group, come out of his friendship group, stop speaking to his
It's not
friends
possible.
because he got
They
married
don't.
to a woman. You will never. But my gender, you are literally letting go of amazing women in your
Because
life
they are single.
because you got married. You are not special or extra special because you've gotten married. And you are not better than the women in your life, than the friends in your life that haven't gotten married in your life. Women, you need to stop this nonsense you are doing. I am yet to meet a man. And every time I meet a group of men that we're having a discussion, I'm always ready to listen and get into their brains and their how they think and their thought process. They're like, oh, how should I get rid of my friend because I'm married and he's not? That makes no sense. Why are you doing that? Why are you doing? A man will not stop socializing with his friends. He will not stop going out with his friends. Some of them are still going on holiday with their friends when they are married. But no, not a woman. She will abandon every good thing, every amazing thing that's in her life that's actually helping with their mental health just because she has married a man. Ade, what's wrong with us? What are you looking for? What is it? And then you go and you isolate yourself
Isolation,
in this marriage. And it's all about this marriage. And when anything goes wrong, you start going crazy, you start going insane. Because you have destroyed your friendship group. You have destroyed it. You have gotten rid of amazing women in your life that will encourage and inspire you and push you forward. Because men still they thrive. They are thriving.
This one is a huge one as well, and we do need to make some space for this. Both ways these things happen because many people fail to grasp the idea that you can have a loving marriage and good friendships. They can both coexist at the same time. Of course, there will be some sort of changes in your friendship dynamic when it comes to these life transitions, especially when it comes to marriage, because there probably was once upon a time that you didn't need to think so much about going out because you're both available whenever and you kind of knew each other's routine. When it comes to getting married, it will require a bit more thought behind it and a bit more planning behind it. To keep friendships alive at this stage, when you're going through this life transition, it will require more effort. Things will look different. Sometimes these transitions can strengthen your friendship, or it can unfortunately weaken your friendship. Why? Because it could either be that friends are not ready to adjust or come to a place of acceptance that things have changed for you. And sometimes it can be difficult initially just because it might be difficult to balance the time or even to make time. But this is a reminder to stay connected doesn't necessarily mean that you have to meet up all the time like you used to. Because we know how it is within our Asian community when two people are getting married. There's just so many dawats and invitations and go to this family's house or this function and everyone wants to see the new couple. We get it. It is difficult. And it's just as important to stay connected and keep your friendships alive. If you are the friend that got married and your friends have dropped you, I'm so sorry. And this is a reminder that they aren't ready for your life transitions. They aren't ready to make those adjustments with you, and you'll find yourself almost grieving those friendships. But I would encourage you, if these friendships feel super worth it for you, I encourage you to have a conversation with them. Bye.
So we've seen what people have to say about married women ditching their single female friends when they get married, and also people's opinion about men not doing the same thing. I would love to hear what you think about this whole topic. So please leave your comments in the comment section. Now, personally, I've had a lot of my friends get married, and I don't know if they were the ones that stopped communicating, or maybe because we were in different states and doing our own thing. I don't have as much of a relationship with them now that they are married and they have kids. I think maybe it's just because everybody is busy and the rest, but I don't think it's because they just said, "Oh, I'm single, so I'm not worth it." I just think it's because they got busy and doing my own thing, and we are moving forward in life. Even though there are some things that I would think that they should remember, or like my birthday. For some of those that are close to me, I always remember their birthday, and except I'm very, very busy that day or something, I try to like send them a message and the rest. But I noticed that a lot of them don't reciprocate for me. Now, when they were single, they remembered almost all the time. But apparently, when they got married and had kids, this year they remember, another year they might not remember. But personally, I just think they got very busy and they have a lot of things they're thinking about. So they will not be thinking about me or my baby or something like that. But it is what it is. It's just people moving on. But I've seen some women actually feel that once they get married, they have no need to associate with their single female friends. The only time that they are like communicating with the friends, they are always like, "When are you getting married? Oh, come and get married and let's have kids together," or something like that. They are always trying to pressurize their female friends to get married so that they can say, "Oh, we are married together," or they can continue to have that relationship. And there are some that will say that if you don't get married, I might not be able to continue the relationship with you. I might have to look for other married women to be friends with, because we might not have anything to discuss, and my husband, my kids, and the rest. And I don't know why they feel that way, because like someone said, isolating yourself is not a good thing. I saw how that happened to my mom. Because of the person she married, he kind of isolated her from her friends. I keep saying that if my mother was not really like isolated, if she was working in like a government establishment where there were various women, type of women, married, single, young, and the rest, and they would have been able to motivate her to not take some of the nonsense that she took, and that eventually led to a decline in mental health and the rest. Because when he was doing all kinds of abuses, I just realized today that my mother suffered domestic abuse, financial abuse, emotional abuse, and I'm like, she suffered everything. And it made me angry, because that was kind of the things that led to a decline in my mental health. And I feel like if she was surrounded in a place, even if she was not having like friends, but just working with people, going every day and having to work with people and listen and talk with people, especially women that were doing different great things at different point of their life, she would have still that confidence, would have the confidence, the mindset to let go, the mindset to fight, the mindset to move forward might have been instilled in her. Whether she wants it or not, she would have had that, and maybe she will still be alive today. But it is what it is. She didn't have that option, because he had told her a lot of things, and then the isolation came, and then, like people said, when the mental health issue started, quite a lot of the people that were married friends did not really like rally around her. The people that she really, really knew, like from her university days, the friends that they were close to her didn't really know what was going on because she was already isolated. I feel like if those ones really knew at a particular time what was going on, they would have had more influence on her moving forward. Well, my mom was kind of also an introvert, and then the isolation from the person she married did a number on her. So when people ditch their single friends, or they say they have to be with married people, they don't want to be with the people that are single, even though you might have known them for 20 years, even though that they might be your best friends, even though they are the ones that will ride for you at dawn, like they would carry pitchfork and fight for you. But because you feel like they have no use to you now that you are married, and you feel like you are much better than them, you ditch them. And then when the guy is doing all sorts, they are not there to support you, they are not there to strengthen you, and you cannot go back to them because you would be feeling a particular kind of way, or you had already isolated yourself. So I think that attitude from some women is wrong, and it needs to be changed. Also, people were mentioning that a man would never ditch his single friends, and they would continue to actively do things together. And I have to agree with that, because I've seen so many videos and situations where these men will say, oh, when you're the first person to have a child, and they're around the family, they're around the wife, they're around the children. Or I've seen some video where a woman is in labor, and if you see the guy friends, most of them are single. They are in the labor ward, they are in the hospital waiting with the man. Or is it when they are taking their children, the man's children, out, or just having a barbecue in the man's house or something? They never, and most of the time, they never ditch their single male friends. Now, with the female friends, they might move back a bit from the relationship because of the wife. I know a lot of my male friends that I have, once they got married, once they were in a committed relationship, I started restricting some of my movement and talk with them, because I did not want their wife, their girlfriend, their fiance to feel a particular kind of way because I'm single and I'm close with their husband. So I've lost quite a lot of my male friends because they've gotten married, they've had kids. I barely talk to a lot of them right now, because I don't want any issue. I don't want, maybe I send message, oh, help me and do this, and then they start flaring up. Then it causes a problem with their relationship. So that I know happens. But with their male single friends, there is no way a man is going to leave his buddies that have been with him for 30 years, 20 years, 10 years, 5 years, because they got married. It's not possible. They will never do it. Now, maybe they might not be hanging out all the time, but men will be intentional. They will have maybe one day that they are going to go and watch ball, or go out and drink, or have a barbecue or something. But for females, they just cut it off and say, oh, I cannot do this. And my husband, my kids, my dad. I don't know why some women do that. Because at the end of the day, it can backfire on the women. Now, like I said, this video is inspired by the woman that was saying some of our friends that married and ditched her, and now they're getting divorced, are trying to work their way back into the friendship. And she's like, no, thank you. I've made other friends while you ditched me. And people in the comment section were like, oh, it might be that the man isolated them, and trying to give excuses for why it happened. And she was saying that she had some other married friends who did not completely ditch her, but they tried to work their relationship, they tried to work their friendship. And like someone said, you have to be actively trying to do things to make sure that the friendship is still there, even though it might not be as strong as before, because you cannot always say, oh, I want to go for a girls brunch and the married woman is available. Like planning it ahead and taking steps to make sure that, oh, you are always meeting up, or you are always talking, even if you are not meeting up, if you are in different states, but you are always talking, is something that you would have to actively do as the married person, not the single person, because the single person is always around. The married person is the person that is supposed to be actively doing it and planning it, because the single person might send you a message and say, oh, I'm busy, I'm this, oh, I'm this, I'm this, and this. And then the person will just say, okay, it's like this person is trying to avoid me, and move on. So my thought about this topic is that it is not a good thing for married women to just ditch their single female friends because they're not married. It could backfire in future, and maybe it might not backfire. But for the married women that feel that they are more superior than their single female friends, they should not try and manipulate the female friends when they decide that they don't want to be friends with them. Maybe when they eventually realize that what they did is wrong. It is not on the women that were ditched that should try to make them more comfortable or try to bring them back into their friendship. If you think that you're more superior than your female friend that is single, and when you apparently are single and you're trying to walk their way, if they tell you they don't want to be friends with you, you cannot start saying, oh, but no, don't try and manipulate them. It was your choice to ditch them, and it's now their choice to tell you that they don't want to be friends with you anymore. Anyway, that is my thought about this whole topic. I would love to hear what you think about some married women ditching their single female friends because they are married. And I would love to hear what you think about men not ditching their single male friends because they are married. Please leave your thoughts in the comment section so that we can get this discussion popping. Now, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you are not yet subscribed and you like videos such as this, please consider subscribing by clicking on the red button that says subscribe. And don't forget to click on the bell notification icon by the side so that you're notified anytime I upload videos. Now, with all that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Bye.